All right, the worst is far from over for Penn State after a scathing report on the response of university leaders to child sex abuse allegations. The school is still under scrutiny by the Department of Education and the NCAA. Let's bring in our legal guys, Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor in Cleveland. Good to see you.
Hi, Frederica.
Hello, and Richard Herman. Thank you very much. Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor, joining us from Las Vegas. Good to see you as well.
Hi, Fred.
All right, gentlemen, this Louis Freeh report is scathing. It involved more than 400 eyewitnesses, very detailed accounts of who knew what when. And all this after the conviction of Jerry Sandusky. However, his sentencing is coming up. You have to wonder how much this is going to impact his sentencing. Richard.
Well, I don't think it's going to impact his sentencing. The jury has spoken on that, Fred, and I think that this man is going to die in prison. No chance of him getting out, seeing the light of day again. This Louis Freeh report is devastating. It's devastating to the current status of Penn State and to the future status of Penn State. It's not an admissible document in court. However, it is a roadmap to discover just how deep this horrific conduct by people at Penn State, people in control, including the top dog himself, Joe Paterno, who could have prevented this 15-year reign of terror by Sandusky. It's just an absolute abomination, Fred. The university's going to stand to lose federal funds for violating the Clery Act, and in addition to that, the NCAA could impose a death penalty, take the football program away for a year. I would not be surprised if they did that. They should do that.
All those things being considered. And so, Avery, you know, when you look at the pictures of some of the people involved in the investigation, the questioning from the grand jury, and now even this report, we're talking about from the president of the university, Spanier, or the former president, to Tim Curley, athletic director, you know, Mr. Schultz. The names go on and on. We already know that Mr. Schultz and Tim Curley, you know, will be facing criminal trials for having failed to report the, 2001 assault and then lying about it under oath. We know that the criminal charges or the criminal cases could expand. It could span over a period of years. Civil lawsuits could come quite quickly as a result of this 400, the 400 people who were interviewed in this document. And we're talking a matter of weeks or perhaps even months in which we could see some real developments from any civil litigation. Richard?
Right. Plaintiffs' attorneys are going to jump all over this, Fred. Litigation, I would expect, will start being commenced next week. There may be statute of limitation issues. If they can overcome those hurdles, Penn State is going to settle these cases as quick as you can say Penn State. They must do that. And look, let's give credit to Penn State.
That's what the lawyers are doing. Actually, that's what the lawyers are doing right now. That's exactly right. Lawyers from Penn State are getting these plaintiffs' lawyers in to try to get it resolved before it blows up, ultimately goes to trial.
Wow. Okay.
But they commissioned this report by Louis Freeh. They turned over all the records that they had in their possession now. They want to try to do the right thing here.
Yeah.
The problem is, Fred, it was just so devastating. And the fact, and don't fool yourself, Joe Paterno was the top dog at Penn State. Nobody knows Spanier. Everybody knows the legendary coach. He himself, the rah-rah ethics guy himself, he's the one that was the coward here.
That's exactly
he's the one that did nothing to protect these young boys. He's the one I blame most.
That's why Penn State. That's why Penn State has to wrap this thing up. They've got to resolve these cases.
And perhaps even Penn State had no idea.
If it goes to trial, it's explosive.
Yeah, perhaps some in Penn State, among the Board of Trustees and others, maybe didn't even realize that this report would be as explosive and damning as it has turned out to be.